Hello everyone, and today I am here to do a review, a bit of a different review this time. I'm not really reviewing a game, but I'm reviewing a compilation as a whole, and that is Sonic Origins. For the big part of my Sonic Marathon, every game I have played has come from Sonic Origins. More specifically, Sonic Origins Plus. I have Sonic Origins Plus. I have the physical version of that game because I have waited. I wasn't a massive Sonic fan by the time this compilation came out, but over the years as I've become a fan, I'm like, well, I mean, this is the easiest way for me to play the the Genesis games. So after doing research, and then I found out, Sonic Origins Plus is a physical edition. That's what I ended up getting. So let's take a look-see at Sonic Origins, and all it offers, and then I will give my thoughts on if I think it is a good compilation or not. So, like I said before, it is a compilation of the first 4 Sonic Genesis games, that being Sonic the Hedgehog 1 through 3 and Sonic CD. According to Takashi Iizuka, Sonic Origins was conceived alongside Sonic Colors Ultimate for both old and new fans of the Sonic series following the success of the 2020 movie. So, this is a very basic business idea that we can all understand. You have new fans from the movie, so you decide, okay, let's re-release the very first games so that way these new fans have an easier way to play it, right? That makes a lot of sense. Iizuka noted that though they are frequently re-released via emulation, these games, they felt retro on modern displays due to their 4.3 aspect ratio. He wanted Sonic Origins to modernize them with a 16:9 widescreen support and new features to appeal to both new and longtime fans. Sonic Mania showed as well that Sonic Team that there was still an audience for 2D Sonic games, and that the series' 30th anniversary proved the perfect opportunity to develop a compilation. The compilation was developed internally at Sega, which handled the components, presentation, and consolidation of the games, while emulation-based porting is easier to do. Since the games chosen for Sonic Origins have been played for several years, Iizuka wanted to take this opportunity to revive them again on the current hardware. With that in mind, the team dared to try porting. With the games not running on emulation, the team were able to modify the games themselves. They also planned to add elements that would make it easier for beginners to play the games, similar to Sonic Colors Ultimate. The team behind Sonic Origins prioritized the main Sonic series, meaning they did not consider including other 2D Sonic games, such as the ones released for the Sega Game Gear, Knuckles Chaotix, and the Sonic Advance series. Why you decided not to include Knuckles Chaotix, I will never know. It is technically a Sega Genesis game, even though it's on the 32X. It is technically a Genesis game. If you're gonna count Sonic CD, you can count Knuckles Chaotix. Yes, I know the game isn't fully complete, but hey, for this compilation, you could have fixed it. Simon Tomley and his studio Headcanon, who worked on the Retro Engine remakes and Sonic Mania, produced the remaster of Sonic 3 and Knuckles on the Retro Engine, as well as they developed the new Blue Sphere mode for Sonic Origins. Tomley said he was contracted to develop the remaster separately from Sonic Origins. The compilation also marks the first re-release of Sonic 3 and Knuckles since 2011, following speculation that the soundtrack licensing problems arising from Michael Jackson's involvement with Sonic 3 were preventing new releases. Tomley said he and Headcanon were unhappy with the final version of Sonic Origins, and that it did not represent their work. He said they developed the Sonic 3 and Knuckles remaster under crunch conditions for a strict deadline, that Sega would not delay it, and Sega introduced bugs when integrating it into Sonic Origins. According to Tomley, the Headcanon team were outsiders creating a separate project that was then wrangled into something entirely different. So that is a very good thing to note, that apparently the Sonic 3 and Knuckles port was just going to be its own thing, kind of like all the other ones, but then Sega decided, well, we'll just incorporate it into Origins, and they kind of fumbled the ball as they went in. So let's talk about, some gameplay presentation stuff. So every game is represented by an island, pretty much where they set. So if you go through the menu, you have, Sonic 1 is based on South Island. Sonic 2, CD is Little Planet. Sonic 2 is West Side Island, and Sonic 3 and Knuckles is Angel Island. You can zoom in to these islands and all that to see the little display. They got the characters on them and all that. It's real fun. The zoom in was DLC at first. Yes, you heard me right. You had to pay to zoom into the fucking island. Jesus Christ. So the games included in this is Sonic 1, Sonic CD, Sonic 2, and Sonic 3 and Knuckles. The 4 technically 4 Genesis games. Again, if you're gonna add CD, you could have added Knuckles Chaotix, whatever. But as you can see, the order is not what you'd expect. The order is the new chronological order of the games. So Sonic CD now canonically takes place before Sonic 2, meaning Sonic meets Amy before Tails. So as for like little changes, I wouldn't say changes, but like little things that are in these versions of the games, I've gone over them in detail before. So if you want to know my thoughts on like huge thoughts on these games, you can go watch those reviews. For Sonic CD, a nice change they have is that they have the option for you to change the OST, so you can choose between the Japanese version or the American version of the CD soundtrack, which is very nice. Sonic 2 has added Hidden Palace Zone into the game. This was something that was added in the mobile port, and they kept it for this one. And then Sonic 3 and Knuckles is all one big game, the way God intended for it to be. No Michael Jackson tracks. They've all been removed and replaced with, these were like the prototype songs before Michael Jackson agreed. So they had like songs already, set. The problem is that they aren't actually the prototype tracks. They are remixed versions of the tracks done by Jun Senoue. And if you know anything about Jun Senoue, you know how great he is at making Sonic music, but you also know how shitty he is at using the Genesis chiptune. And yeah, he kind of fumbled the ball with it. So all these games were done by Christian Whitehead. These are all the Christian Whitehead versions of the games. Though technically the Sonic 3 and Knuckles one is headcanon, but these are all like, supposed to be now the definitive way you play it. And for most of them, it is. I'd say the Sonic 3 and Knuckles one is the inferior one out of all this. If you want to play Sonic 3 and Knuckles, I think like the best version would probably be Sonic 3 and Knuckles Air. The one on the PC, I think that's probably the best way to play it. So, you have more playable options. So you have like a variety of characters to play as, especially when it comes to like Sonic 2, where they add Tails as your like companion. That kind of adds a lot of variety to who you can play as. You can play as Knuckles in Sonic CD now, which is crazy. I think you can play as Knuckles in Sonic 1 as well. So they really do like you can play as them in anything type of thing, right? Speaking of, Amy's here. You can play as Amy now. That's awesome, man. I'm really happy about that you can play as Amy. That's cool. This is the first time I think she's ever been playable in a Genesis game, which is awesome. She has been playable in 2D games before, like she's playable in the Advanced series, but this is like the first time she's playable in like a classic game, which is real nice. Then we have, I would say Amy actually is your easy mode when it comes to like the characters, because you know how Sonic, Tails, and Knuckles operate. When it comes to Amy, I would say she's easy mode because she can use her Pico Pico hammer to like widen her range when she jumps, and she can use it while running to like hit enemies. So she's like definitely the easy mode. They have new animations before and after you beat the game that kind of like give you like a little I would say chronological bridge in between the games. They're very nice, very well done. And again, I'm just like, give me a 2D Sonic game, give me a 2D Sonic show. Cheat codes. The cheat codes for all the games have been implemented, and I used them quite a bit, I will not lie. So here are the different modes that are included in the game, and pretty much every single game has these modes. So there's Anniversary mode. So this allows you to experience the games in a new format with the full 16:9 aspect ratio. It has removed the life system and time limits. So you have infinite tries. So you don't have to worry about continues, time overs, game overs, and all that. This is the mode that is designed for new people, right? This is the mode that is not going to punish you. You can die as many times as you want. It's not going to punish you for that. And they've removed the life system. They have replaced the life system with coins. So like you would, instead of finding like one-up boxes, you find coin boxes and all that. By getting 100 rings instead of getting a one-up, you get a coin, right? So what a coin is coins are used in the museum, which we'll get to the museum later. So you can use the coins in the museum, and you can also use the coins to buy certain things, like maybe locked songs and all that type of stuff. That's what coins are used for. You could also use coins to restart a special stage. So if you're in a special stage and you fail, you can restart it with the price of a coin. So that's nice that's like the way for you to restart a special stage. So Anniversary mode, it's got all the bells and whistles. It is That is Anniversary Mode. Classic Mode, it allows you to experience the games in the original 14:3 aspect ratio, includes the life system, everything is there. Then you have a Boss Rush Mode. It's what it means. You just fight every boss. You have 3 lives. If you complete a boss rush for a game, you are rewarded with 25 coins. There is a Mirror Mode, which flips the entire zones from left to right without changing the layout, effectively allowing the player to complete the levels from the opposite direction by moving to the left instead of the right. You can unlock this mode after clearing either Anniversary or Classic Mode for any game. Then you can unlock Mirror Mode. You can also unlock it to the start if you have the Start Dash DLC, and then everything in this mode is Anniversary Mode. So when you play Mirror Mode, you're effectively playing Anniversary Mode. There is a Story Mode, which allows you to play all the titles one after the other. Just go. You don't go in between, like you don't, after you beat a game, go back to the menu. It's just, you say you beat Sonic 1, you go right into Sonic CT. If you beat Sonic CT, you go right into Sonic 2. So it's kind of like if you just want to blow through it all at one go, you can do that. So that's what every game includes, all these. Then there is Mission Mode. Mission Mode is an extra feature where the player can compete in 60 standalone challenges that are split across all the 4 games. The player has to complete a certain objective that are specified in the mission menu, like collecting a target number of rings within a time limit, or reaching the goal without defeating any enemies, or you have to defeat, a certain amount of enemies, etc., etc., etc. They alternate between how tough they are, and you get a rank as you do it, right? Like S, B, C. So this is their way of kind of giving you a rank system in this without fully doing the whole rank system, right? And of course, by completing missions, you earn coins. Isn't that awesome? Coins that you can use in the museum, and we can get to the museum. So the museum is where you look at art, you can listen to songs, you can rewatch the animations, all that type of stuff. That's where you look at the museum. By doing things in the game, you can unlock stuff in the museum. There's 2 types at the museum. There is just the museum, and then there's like the premium collection. The premium collection is where you want to use the coins to unlock artwork and songs. The songs you would unlock in the premium collection are songs that are not part of this game. They're like extra songs, because the songs in this game you can pretty much unlock just by playing the game. Great. Same thing with the artwork. You unlock a lot of it just by playing the game and going through the 4 games, and then you would unlock it as it goes on, right? Because it'd be like, start Sonic 1, and you get, a picture of Sonic, right? Then it's like, defeat Sonic 1, you get a picture of Sonic. It's like, defeat Sonic 1 as Sonic, defeat Sonic 1 as Tails, like, all that type of stuff. And you unlock different artwork. So yeah, that is the museum. It's real nice to visit it. Now, at the start, this game was a glitchy mess. It was a full-on glitchy mess, filled with bugs. Here's the thing, though. I've heard that from, like, a lot of people, that at launch, this game was a fucking mess. There was a lot of problems at launch. The problem with that is I can't add that into my review because I did not experience that, because I'm playing it many years later, and all those problems have been patched out for me. So I'm now experiencing it probably the way they wanted you to experience it from launch. That's how I'm experiencing it. So I do take that into account, but it also doesn't really affect me because I didn't have to experience it. Now, in Sonic Origins Plus, they did add a little something. So Sonic Origins was 1 CD, 2, and 3, and that was kind of it. In Origins Plus, though, they added the option for you to play as Amy, and they added the option for Game Gear games to be playable. So they have every Sonic Game Gear game is available for you to play in the museum, which is a really good option. I like that they did that. It allows also people to play the Game Gear games. So the Game Gear games they have is the Game Gear versions of Sonic 1 and 2. They have Sonic Blast, Sonic Triple Trouble, the Game Gear versions of Mean Bean Machine and Spinball, both the Sonic Drift games. They've got Sonic and Tails, which is Sonic Chaos. So they have pretty much every Game Gear game here, which is, again, a good idea. I would have liked if you had added more games. Maybe you could have added Sonic Pocket Adventure. I think that would have been cool if you could have added that. I would have been awesome if you could have added maybe Sonic R. Would have been nice. Sonic the Fighters, because I think those fit in like this 90s era of Sonic. So it would have been nice if you could have added them to this as well. Maybe they could have been premium games. So you have the Game Gear games, right, like right off the bat. But if you wanted to unlock Sonic R or Sonic Blast, or Sonic the Fighters, you have to use coins. That could have been something. So I do feel like they missed an opportunity of games to include, again, also Knuckles Chaotix, please. Would have been, that would have been because right now, there's no way to play Knuckles Chaotix unless you got a 32X, legally. There's other ways, but legally, you have to get a 32X. It's kind of dumb. But yeah, that is Sonic Origins Plus, which I have. Also, when you buy it physically, you get an art book, which is real nice and cool. So, on the whole, I am actually going to say, I'm kind of sad to, like, move past Sonic Origins, because that's what I've been playing this whole time. It's how I've been experiencing these games. In the Game Gear games, they give you save states right off the bat. So, that's how I beat a lot of these Game Gear games, and why I didn't, yell in frustration most of the time is because they give you save states right off the bat. So as soon as I started a level in a Game Gear game, I used the save states and went through it. If I died, you just load back up. So that was very generous of them. I think Sonic Origins is a very good compilation. And again, I say this because I didn't have the buggy stuff at launch, and a lot of people are going to say that, like, well, there's better ways to play the game. I'm sure there is, but for consoles, this is the best way you can do it, especially on modern hardware, to play these games. And they worked great for me. I had a real good time going through all these games. I had a real good time going through the Game Gear games, right? I did not experience a lot of the glitchiness. I think a lot of the features, like having them be presented on different islands, is really cool. The idea of a story mode, that this is the way they now make the new chronological order for the games. They have like these cool little 2D animated things in between them all. I liked it. I think mission mode's a good idea. So yeah, I really do enjoy Sonic Origins as a collection. Now, maybe there's more stuff they could have added, like in the museum. Maybe you could have added more artwork, right? They have pictures of the IDW comic covers at the time. I think you should have just bit the bullet and put all the Archie covers out there, like you did with Sonic Gems collection. Not Sonic Gems collection, Sonic Mega Collection Plus, where they have like all the Archie comic covers. That's where the extras menu music came from that we love, that you're probably hearing right now. Came from that, because there was just a menu where you could just look at all the Archie comic covers with the descriptions. And I know that's how a lot of people got into Archie, was they had this collection. They're like, whoa, look at all these comics. I want to see this. I want to see these adventures, right? You should have done that. You should have had all the Archie Sonic covers in there. And you should have had the IDW comic covers. You should have updated the game and included all the ones as we went along. Because at the time, they only have like, what, 10 or 7 of them, right? Like, we were very young into IDW. At this point, it wasn't super big. You should have added more. You should have added more with updates, and you should have had the Archie covers in there. Hell, you should have added the fucking Fleetway covers, the French comic covers, the manga covers. You should have just gone all in that museum to really make it be like, hey, look at all this stuff from Sonic's history. You should have added concept art like Madonna in 13 or Sonic's band initially, right? You should have done all that. You should have added a lot more into the museum. I do think the museum could have been greatly improved upon, with a lot of stuff to be like, hey, we were really celebrating Sonic's past here, right? Maybe you could have had, pictures of his initial conception, right? Like when he was going to be Mr. Needlemouse, or when he was going to be Feels the Rabbit. Like you could have had other stuff in this museum to really, really make it be like, here, look at all this stuff from Sonic, right? I think that would have been a lot better. Maybe you could have added here, watch the intros to Sad AM or Adventures of Sonic, right? Or Sonic Underground. You could have added them, like the intros, just there for you to watch. You don't have to add anything else, just the intros, and be like, look, and maybe added concept art from those shows, right? A lot more could have been done with the museum. I do agree. But in terms of like what you get with the games, I'm fine with it. I got no problems with it. I would have liked, Knuckles Chaotix and R and Fighters, but I'm not going to gripe too big about it. So I'm going to give Sonic Origins Plus, on the whole, an 8.5 out of 10. I think it is a really good collection. Could have been improved upon a lot, but I do think that for what we have, this is a very solid way for you to play the Genesis Sonic games, and you do get a lot for your money. So that's going to do it for me. Let me know what you guys think of Sonic Origins in the comments down below, and I'll see you guys all next time.